Hello, everyone. This is Rida Saqib from Premier BPO. I'm the content writer, and today here with us is our guest expert, Mr. Dave Shapiro, the COO of Premier BPO. Dave, thank you for joining us. It's lovely to have you here.
Rita, it's very happy to be joining you, and excited to talk about this topic as I love our industry.
Exactly that. We're here to talk about co-sourcing versus outsourcing. So, Dave, can you tell us a little bit about what co-sourcing is and how it differs from outsourcing? What are your views on that?
So sure, outsourcing, Rita, as you know, has been around for decades. Co-sourcing is much newer, and there's definitely a clear delineation between outsourcing and co-sourcing. Outsourcing is taking a function, having another company do it, and it's usually very transactional in nature. Co-sourcing is much more of a partnership. It's when companies are aligned in their culture, in their goals. It's not just giving it the work to another company to follow the rules in a very robotic way. Co-sourcing is when both companies are very aligned with the ultimate outcome.
And when we talk about the process or the design of the service or the product, how much do you think that the company, the third party who is co-sourcing or outsourcing, is involved in it?
So in outsourcing, usually the vendor is not very involved at all. They just take a set of instructions and they follow them, and that's fine. Co-sourcing is the partner, as opposed to the vendor, works with the company to actually design the processes. And what happens is a co-sourcer looks and takes a company's existing processes and improves them. Maybe there's a different workflow, maybe there's a new technology, maybe there's a new way of doing things, and a co-sourcer helps to find those and helps to actually improve the process, not just replicate the process.
Okay. And both of these utilize outsourced teams, external teams. So how do you think it affects the work, the workspace, the quality of work, and in terms of what does that imply in terms of skill sets and how resources can be utilized?
Yeah, so both outsourcers and co-sourcers have remote teams, but an outsourcer, because by nature you're just robotically following a process, it needs tighter management. Co-sourcing, if you really have the team member has bought into the goals and the culture, and they really feel like they're part of the company that they're serving, it needs a little bit less management because we know that the best interests are aligned. They're going to say something if they see something that should be done differently. They're going to work that extra minute or hour if need be. They're going to point out an issue or challenge that they're having because they're part of the team. They're part of the end result.
Okay, and usually when people think about outsourcing, they're a little skeptical. So because they feel like quality would suffer, quality of the product or the service. So what would you say about that?
So actually, what we see with our clients, frankly, Rita, is that after they start with us, client quality actually improves. When you're an outsourcer, the max of your quality can only be as good as the processes that you're following. So if the processes mandate a certain quality, that's the best you're going to get. When you're a co-sourcer and you're looking to not just do the function, but improve the process, you can raise the bar of what the quality is going to be. So you actually find ways to improve the end consumer experience or the end of because you're actually looking for ways to improve it, which then allows for quality improvements.
Okay, and what do you think is the value add of co-sourcing versus outsourcing?
So co-sourcing, it's huge. An outsourcer, like I said, just replicates the function that the company already has in existing in place. Whereas a co-sourcer is not only providing the function, but since they're finding ways to improve it, they're bringing ideas back to the client company saying, what about this, what about that? And that could be process improvement. It could be a new it could end up in a whole new product. It could be end up in a whole new result that didn't exist before. So instead of one and one and two, one and one now becomes three. In outsourcing, the one and one is two. In co-sourcing, one and one can be three because mutually the client and the co-sourcer can come up with something that didn't exist before, which is better.
That's great. And we all know that culture is the cornerstone of how well any organization operates. So when we're talking about co-sourcing and outsourcing, how does that affect a company's culture when it gets involved in the process?
Culture is huge. If you're an outsourcer, again, you do what you do, you follow the process, but you really work for the outsourcing company if you're a team member. When you're a co-sourcer, you're working for two different companies at the same time in a great way. We immerse ourselves in the culture of our clients. So our team members, they'll be wearing branded shirts from our client. They're going to have banners on the wall from our client. They're going to feel they get the paycheck from Premier BPO, but they feel like they work for our clients because they're immersed in that culture. And we want them to feel that way. We want them to feel like not that they work for Premier BPO, that they work for client X, Y, or Z. So when they truly buy into that culture and they feel like they're part of that company, then they want to win more. They want to do the right thing for that company.
That's great. And in the today's labor crisis, it's almost impossible for companies to staff. So, what would you say that is co-sourcing and outsourcing just something for small or large enterprises, or can everyone avail it? And what sort of benefits they would be looking towards if they were to utilize it today?
So outsourcing used to just be for the big guys. Okay, it used to only make sense with the way that technology has come down and technology in the cloud today. More and more mid and small size companies are taking advantage of outsourcing and now co-sourcing. We have teams as small as three, four, or five that are now that we co-source with our clients, and those smaller teams now are co-managed between our Premier BPO quality and supervision, but working day to day directly with small and mid-sized companies in the U.S. That feel now like they have this team at their disposal. It's not just a team of robots following instructions. It's a team that works day to day, hand in hand with our clients to accomplish results.
And how do you think that, because work from home is widely accepted everywhere now, how do you think co-sourcing plays into that?
So it's huge. When somebody's working from home, it's a little bit, if we're all frank and honest, it's a little bit less supervision than in the past. So you need a co-source mentality when you're working from home so that you're truly thinking on behalf of the client. That if you're just an outsource following a prescribed instruction, if there's any deviation, there's a problem, and there's no supervisor there to help out. But if you're in a co-sourcing mentality, and if there's a slight turn or right turn in terms of process or something that comes up during the day, you have the heart and mind to deal with it on behalf of the client. You know who to escalate it to, you know who to work with at the client, you know who to work with internally. And so you have the mindset as a co-source partner that is going to make you more successful.
Okay. And what do you think is the unique point for Premier BPO as a core sourcer?
So what makes us unique is that we immerse ourselves with our clients in every situation. So we want to be a co-sourcer. We don't want to be just a vendor that's following instructions at a low labor cost. We want to be engaged with our clients. We want to understand their business. We understand their goals, and that we want to be part of the solution of the outcomes. That may be helping to suggest technology automation. That may be a process improvement. That may be a change in policy. But we want to be at the table working with our clients, understanding their goals, and then making suggestions and recommendations as part of how to best achieve those.
Great. And is there anything else that you would like to add?
Listen, Rita, I've appreciated this time. Anybody listening to this who would like to talk about, the difference between co-sourcing and outsourcing in more detail, I would love to talk to them. To me, there is a tangible difference, and we're proud of the role we play as a co-sourcer.
That's great. Thank you for joining us, Dave. It was amazing to have you. And to our viewers, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please follow us on our social channels and visit our website. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Rita. Have a great day. Thank you.